Okay, so since all this new stuff has been happening, I've had a lot of people requesting an updated video. So here goes. This one I'm going to get into a lot more of the details, hopefully. So this is really the back if you're living in it, but technically the front when you're towing it. And on the tongue we have two 30-pound propane tanks and this custom cover that Mom made. On this side in the back is all of the electrical and solar. We've got the batteries, breakers, charge controller, inverter, and we have it hooked up so you can run it off of regular power, which is what this red cord is that you see here. But we also have this green cord that'll hook up to the inverter and the solar panel. And then on the other side, it can be used for storage. Right now we have jacks stored in there. On this side of the house, this little white thing is a hookup for the water, kind of like an RV hookup. You can just hook a hose in there. And up on the top is the vent for the water heater, and that's propane. So everything that runs off of propane needs some sort of good ventilation. Going to the other side are more vents. These two here are for the fridge. This top one you can't open, but the bottom one you can, and that's specifically so it can be serviced. And over here is the vent for the little marine propane stove that heats the place. And over all these we have some custom water shields just for when it starts pouring and we don't want anything to leak into the house. The siding is SmartSide brand. It is a wood product and it is primed and painted, and all of the trim is the same way. The roof is an Energy Star roof, and we have the trim color matching the roof, so it all goes together pretty well. On the front I had planned to do a fold-up deck and stairs. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do this. I suppose whoever wants to buy it might let me know what they want and I'll do it, or if I have time with it sitting around I'll just go ahead and throw it on there. But that's one of the last things I'll be doing. Right now the door is white, it's just primer. I'm not really sure what color I want to paint the door, so if anyone has any color suggestions, do let me know. And this window on the front door opens, and that provides some really good ventilation. And then on either side of the door are two exterior lights. So going in, it's sort of a construction zone still, as I'm sure you guys expect. And on either side of the front door are closets. We just put in the door jambs, and we're working on fitting the doors. We don't have any shelves up right now. We're just using it for some storage. These are the legs for the little solar stand that we have. But both of these provide pretty good space. I will be painting this plywood up at the top, or staining it, or maybe covering it with some reclaimed wood. We'll see where my creativity takes me. But here's the other closet, same size as the first one. And over here is acting as storage right now, but this is the couch or sofa or whatever you would like to call it. It has 3 drawers that open up, and they have pretty good storage. You can see I'm using it for that right now. And I've trimmed out all of the lower windows, which is really good. Obviously I haven't done the top windows. You can see up there in the dormer area, you can still see the Tyvek and all that. So I still need to complete that part. But I have half of the windows trimmed out. And we will be putting up a lot of trim in the corners and along the seams for the wall panels, and these are my options right now. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to go with. The one that I like happens to be more expensive, of course, so we'll see where I go with that. To get up to the loft, I found this funky little stair set that I thought I'd repurpose, and I got this ladder also, and we sort of custom fit them together. Right next to the couch is a little desk area. You could eat at it or study or work or whatever. And then right above that is the water heater. And we have plans to cover in the pipes and all that, but still make it accessible. Another creative thing that we haven't quite gotten to yet. And then entering into the kitchen, one side has a bunch of cabinets. These were some good reclaimed thrift store finds. They're in awesome shape. They have this cherry finish, and I really liked the design on them. And a really nice size sink for this small of a kitchen. I lived in an apartment with a legitimate bar sink, and I thought it was awful, so I tried to get one that would be at least functional. Nice window over the sink, a corner cabinet. Everyone who comes in here opens the corner cabinet for some reason, so I'll go ahead and do that for you. And on the other side of the kitchen is space for shelves. To be honest, I actually have a wall cabinet I wanted to put up, but if you look right there, that light gets in the way. That's just one of those planning things that you learn once you run into a problem. So instead, I will be decking this thing out with some good shelving and making sure I can make up for the storage. And then below it is the only drawer in the kitchen, to be honest. It'd be good for silverware or whatever. And the refrigerator is a Nordcold brand, and it's a two-way. It runs on electricity or propane. So you could do solar, or you can hook it up to the regular electricity, but I would suggest running it off of propane because it's a little bit more efficient that way. But it has a decent-sized freezer in here. It's actually bigger than the one that was at the apartment I just moved into. And then this stove is probably one of my favorite things in the kitchen. It's a 3-burner propane stove and oven. It's small, but you can bake cookies or very small turkeys or whatever you want to put in there. And over here is the little marine stove. It's a Newport P9000, and we have it working. It's not quite cold enough to keep it running, but we ran it for a few hours the other day, and it was quite toasty. I think a couple people have mentioned on their own tiny house blogs that just boiling water or cooking something up real quick on the stove will heat the house, and that's absolutely true. We turned this on and it heated it up real quick. And here is the bathroom. Again, more new door jambs, and there's a curtain that will be going across. We didn't put a door because it would stretch it too much, so I wouldn't have enough wall space in the kitchen. So I think it's a pretty good option. Here on the floor, and I guess you can't really see that, but I'm testing out some hardwood floors. But turn on the light. So we have a really cool medicine cabinet. Hello. And it has some really awesome storage. We also have a fan, because you never know. Dad did make a composting toilet, and we've actually had a lot of opportunity to test it out, and it works really great. However, we did plumb it for a regular toilet, as you can see. So if someone really is grossed out by this idea, you can put in a regular toilet. You don't have to rip out the walls. You just need to drill a hole in the floor. It's no big deal. I also did the same reclaimed wood trim, but I didn't stain it dark because I wanted it to be a little bit lighter in here. And here's the shower. It's a 32 by 32, so it's a pretty good size for the space. Think about it like you're on a boat. We have low flow efficient faucets, and right now we don't have a gray water tank, but that can easily be added. I figured someone would probably want to do some kind of gray water reuse or recycling system. So now I'm going to jump up to the sleeping loft. So as you can see, we have a little light up here. It works great for reading, and we have switches all the way up there as well as down below, so you can turn it off wherever you are in the house. We've got air mattresses up here, but you can fit a queen size regular mattress if you want. On the floor, I have carpet tiles. These are really great. If one of them gets damaged, you can rip it up and just put another one in. They're not matching, and I did that on purpose, so as long as you stay in the color scheme, no one will ever know if you mess one up. And here is the water storage tank. We do not have it attached to the floor, so it can come out if you really don't like the idea of it up in the bed area. But I believe that's a 35-gallon tank, and it lasts for a really long time. Now let me get a shot from back in the sleeping loft area. Over there you can see a fan. That is the air conditioning. This is more of a green project, remember, so putting air conditioning in this space under that premise just doesn't make any sense. And there is the storage loft, and it's a pretty good size. You can fit a lot of stuff up there. I was over there installing carpet the other day, and I can actually lie down in it, so I suppose you could sleep a child up there if you wanted to, but I don't say I'd recommend it. I think that covers it. If anyone has any questions about anything, feel free to contact me. If you're listening to this, you're on my blog, but if you need my email address, it's waywardwillow@gmail.com.